week ago, Benny, we were 56,006 active voters from having a plurality of registered Republicans in Pennsylvania. And within the last 7 days, on Monday, it is reported that that number went from 56,006 down to 25,811. And to really provide context to your audience, in 2008, when President Obama was first elected, the Democrat advantage over Republicans was 1.2 million. So we are on the verge of making history in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Democratic Senator Joe Manchin.
Could you ever support a self-described socialist candidate?
No.
No way. My God, no.
And even if they have some good ideas?
I support the good ideas, but how could you support some of the crazy stuff they're for? Have you seen their platform? They're for dismantling everything that we know.
Is Margaret Brennan caping for the DSA? Interesting.
Whether it be the structure of government, Congress itself, or the Senate they want to get rid of, and then they start talking about all the crazy things. No police, no this, no this, no that. Are you crazy? We want a crime-free area. We have to have police for that.
Yeah.
We want a strong defense. We want a strong border. But if Democrats can't say that, and they start lining up with the socialist demands of what you are to be a socialist, energy will be gone.
Analyst there is, and I'm not sure what to understand what Madame is doing, but to talk about the larger Democratic Party post the election in Michigan going forward, I am not going to be in the same party with Hassan Piker. I can tell you that right now. If he becomes a force in the Democratic Party, I'm out of here. I have no intention of ever being in the same political party with that guy. Now, I think that overwhelming majority of Democrats agree with me. But this idea that we're going to seize the means of production and just go look at the DSA platform. You don't have to look any further than that. And, Judge, it may be that the two-party system is just going to be under tremendous stress here in the coming months. I mean, you see it in with Tucker and Martin Taylor Greene, and on the Republican side, you see it going on right now. And I can't sit here and tell you for certain how this is going to turn out. But the one thing I can tell you for certain, Hassan Piker and James Carville are not going to be in the same political party. One of us is going to leave. It might even be me.
And what do you say to Carville, Manchin, and people like Bill Maher, maybe Shapiro and others?
It might be too late. I mean, it feels like the Democrats have turned their entire party over to the DSA, which we now know is owned and controlled by the Chinese Communist Party and those interests. But what a dangerous path to take this country down. What they want to happen is a revolution in America to turn our country into something that's very different, to do away with our capitalist economy and the American dream that has made this country the greatest country in the history of the world. But we're going to see this on full display in Michigan tomorrow night.
The DSA, man, they're making headway, all throughout the Democrat Party. Chuck Schumer got out there the other day and said the Democrats is a big tent party.
Well, it's pathetic that they got this far. And that's the thing that concerns me, is that they were able to make this kind of headway into the Democratic Party. But it was the Democratic Party's fault that they got that far, because what the Democratic Party was pushing opened doors for this kind of craziness to take over. So they're responsible for this, and I'm glad they're pushing back. But the bottom line is that they need to openly take credit for it being what it is now anyway. They should be willing to say it was our fault that these communists are able to get the power they have. And I think that this is also indicative of what's happening with our citizens not understanding what a republic is, and not understanding what our Constitution is and what our Bill of Rights is. This is the ignorance of American people that allow these fools, these nuts cases, to get the power that they have. And I'm praying that they get taken out. But listen, and I don't mean deceased, I mean taken out as far as the power. But I'm hoping that Americans will wake up, because this can lead to some real dark places if we ain't careful. I mean, we got rid of the Biden administration and what they were doing, and now we took on something. They're taking on something worse than they were. So I'm praying that we overcome this. The remaining Democratic Party wake up and really get together and do the right thing, because a communist America ain't gonna happen. We don't need that.
I was warning you people about these crazy people, these psychotic people that were over here pretending that they were Democrats, but they were really not. They pretended they liked y'all, but they didn't. Again, and people were excited because they loved the little squad. You know, the squad was so exciting. You had the AOC, the Crash Out Crockett, you had the Ilhan and the Rashid, and they're like, oh, look at the new young energy. Y'all don't understand. They were using you people as useful idiots. That's what they were doing. They were using you as useful idiots so that they can get what they want to get done. And again, the true understanding of all of this is not for democratic socialists, it's for Islam to take over. That's what this is all about. Let's just keep it 100. This is what it's all about. And people are still ignorant to that fact. And when I say people are still ignorant to that fact, is because you have useful idiots like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker Carlson and the rest of them, Joe Kent, and these idiots over here in the right, and they're trying now to fracture the right so that you don't have enough people voting because they're like, no, don't support MAGA Republicans. We don't want to support them. So then you have less votes coming in that way, and then the DSA takes over. Because I keep telling you, all these people are in bed together. I don't care what they say. They try to sit down here and act like they're against each other. But Marjorie Taylor Greene was over there kiki with the people on The View. She was having a good old kiki time with them. So wake up, wake up. That guy up in Michigan, El Said, and yelling inshallah after he secured his seat. This is the goal. And you will start to see more and more of the DSA people looking more like Mamdani and like that guy El Said. You're going to see a lot more looking like them because they're going to push them through that funnel. That is their goal, to push them through that funnel. And because you have all of these indoctrinated Gen Zers that sit down here and think that they are pushing the movement, they don't even know the movement, but they're sitting there pushing a movement, don't understand that capitalism is the reason why the DSA exists. I know people are like, what do you mean? It's the capitalists that are funding the DSA. That's who's funding them. They're yelling communism. They're yelling they want to be communists, but they're getting all their money from capitalists.
Yeah.
But they love to pretend that, no, we're all for communism. No, you're not. You're lying. Because it's just like what's his name? Bernie Sanders, who's I'm all about this, socialism. Bernie is only upset when he's not making that money. When he wasn't making millions, he was tax all the millionaires. Now he's in the millions, tax all the billionaires. That's all they do because they live in a space of covetousness, which the Lord warned us about. Thou shalt not covet. Again, please wake up. Please wake up. I do not fall for that Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson foolishness about a new this shall not be televised. A new party's coming. Do not fall for that foolishness, and do not fall for the vote blue no matter who, because your vote blue no matter who. All those DSA people are going under. They're not signaling that they're DSA. They're saying they're Democrats. That is it, Democrats, because that is what it's all about. China is moving in, and people aren't paying attention. I can't. Allegedly for entertainment purposes. I'm sure Neville Singham is right in the midst of all of this too. Over there sitting in China with all of his capitalism money, but then trying to funnel in socialism, communism, and all that here in America. Y'all better wake up. I warned y'all before with Mamdani. Y'all better wake up today.
Can this not be considered treasonous behavior? Signing pledges with a foreign country to further their agenda in our nation. Could this not be considered treasonous behavior?
It is treasonous. That's just like that Hassan Piker. I messaged you, Brother Wise, and I told you about Hassan Piker. And I'm like, the things that he's saying, that should be treasonous. When he's calling for the unaliving of senators and people who support capitalism and all that, that is treason. I know we say freedom of speech, yeah, but you should not be free from consequences. And those are threats, and those are pushing threats on people. That is calling for the unaliving of people. He shouldn't even have a platform anymore, but he still does. That should tell everybody what they need to know about the CCP and all those other people that are involved in this foolishness.
Our leaders stop punishing treason, and that's why it's becoming so common. You're absolutely right. That some of these things that they are doing are treasonous, but because of optics, we got so used to being afraid of what the people might think instead of punishing people when they commit treason. So treason is not punished like it's supposed to be.
I can say this. Part of the reason all of this is going on with the DSA is two things. it's American apathy. Like you said, they win these low turnout elections because many of the American people in those jurisdictions are so apathetic. They care not to vote. They have no idea what's on the line. And so they're easily moved to the side and just let the troops march on by because they don't realize that that could be making them vulnerable. It is this misinformation, which I think is purposeful. I think that we have created a culture where it is perfectly fine to be uninformed. There are very few people that can go anywhere, and particularly in blue areas, states, and spaces where not knowing anything is absolutely acceptable, and that is something that we have to change. But it does seem, to a certain extent, certainly in on the left side of the aisle, there is some cannibalizing going on because there is a huge lineup that they have ready, waiting in the wings to come in and accept. The Republican side of the aisle, I think, is slightly different. I don't think that we are cannibalizing ourselves in the same way, partly because Republicans and conservatives have never been a group of people who are in lockstep. They have never been a group of people who agreed on things. That is part of what's great about the conservative side. There's also some downsides to that. It's much easier to get things done on our side because we rarely are ever people who agree because we want to argue and debate all day long. And that's just some of the nature of the conservative side of the aisle. So disagreements on our side of the aisle don't look to me exactly the same as the cannibalizing that I'm seeing on the other side. However, that said, I will say this. We should assume if past is prologue, and it always is, then we should assume that the way we are today and what we believe is true today, tomorrow we will find out is not. And if we know that's true, because what we know today, we found out, we believed it yesterday and we found out it wasn't true. So if you start racking up all the things that you thought were true that now you know are not, what that should do is tell you where you sit today. You should be suspicious of your own beliefs. You should never be too solid that what you believe is 100% true, because you might get some information tomorrow that tells you that it's not. I'm saying you should hold out a little area of caution, because I am a person that's of the belief that I am in a psyop and these people are putting on a show for me. And though it is my job to try and use my discernment and to ask God for faith to lead me on the things that I cannot see, which is almost everything, and to lead me in the right direction. The fact of the matter is, people are trying to deceive me. And if you know there is an active deception war going on, you've got to be careful about what you believe is true. You've got to be careful about that, because you are right now in the middle of an active deception campaign. So I'm always careful. I'm always saying, well, this is how I see it. This is what I believe. There are some facts now that we can look back in the past and we can discern. But things that are happening right now, today, on the spot, I think to myself, it looks like it's this, and I believe it's that, and it falls in line with this. But I also know there is a huge deception campaign being played on the American people. There is this is what warfare looks like. The warfare is on the mind, because if you can control the thinking and you can control the speech, you can control the behavior. So everything you see, read, think, and hear can be subject to part of that deception campaign. You know, we saw this, they played it out fictionally in The Matrix. However, there could be some actual truth to that. And if that's so, then we have to be very, very cautious.
I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What are your thoughts on any of this? Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family, or you can buy your brother a coffee. That link's in the description box below. And as always, keep God first, stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you guys next time. Peace.
It is God who arms me with strength. Yeah, I'm battle ready. He trains my hands for battle. My heart stays steady. But thanks be to God, he gives us the victory. Through my Lord Jesus Christ, fear can't live in me. I was down to the dirt, red clay on my shoes, old pain in my shirt, oh so bruised. And the Lord hit my chest, kicked air from my breath, put power in my step.